Ireland player ratings versus Wales. Was it Ireland's best game? No. Was it a terrible game? I honestly don't think so. I thought Wales really pitched up. And for anybody that is interested, I will be doing a Wales player ratings tomorrow morning because I think they deserve it. I've been kind of studying the players. I haven't really done a few of them in the last few weeks just because I need to get to know the players a bit more. And I really know the Ireland players quite well. Like, I've been watching them for years now, and I've been watching them at URC, and I really enjoy watching them play. So this is why I've really enjoyed doing the Ireland content, and I really appreciate all the support from every single Irish fan on this channel. And I'll always try to respond as quick as possible to those positive comments because it really does keep me going, guys. So thank you so much. And it was a weird game of rugby. It was a very good test match, but I was not expecting Wales to pitch up the way they did. They had some really big heroic moments. They played with some IQ, and they just looked like a completely transformed team, and they actually made it difficult for Ireland. I don't think Ireland played that bad. I think Wales played that good. So some of the player ratings are going to be mixed up. There's not really any high, very high ones like against England. Maybe one or two, but overall it's going to be okay because I thought Ireland played a decent game, and I thought some guys actually did play well within their positions. Now, as a squad, I thought they played well in patches, but overall, probably not the most slick performance compared to an England performance. If you have to compare this performance to England, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10 to England being a 10. So that's just how I see it. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. Tom O'Toole, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. He had a very respectable performance, and I think he's really earned a spot in this team. I mean, he looks solid at scrum time. He looks the real deal. He looks the part, and he's a big guy as well. I really enjoy watching him play. So 7 out of 10 for Tom O'Toole. Moving on to Ronan Kelleher, I've gone for a 7 out of 10 as well. He is such a reliable, consistent player, and he also made 17 tackles. I mean, you know what you're going to get from him. A high work rate, good lineouts, good set piece, and he's a very reliable player. I do like Tom Stewart, but I think for the foreseeable future right now, Ronan Kelleher's got a position in this team no matter what. I think in the number 16 jersey, but if anything were to ever happen to Dan Sheehan with an injury or a niggle or something, I think Ronan Kelleher is the perfect guy to take the number 2 jersey forward. Tide Furlong, I've gone for a 5.5 out of 10. A few uncharacteristic mistakes from him, and he lost his temper a bit, but I'm probably the one guy that actually enjoys to see a guy like him lose his temper because it shows how much he cares. It actually shows that he's fighting for the jersey, he's fighting for his teammates, and I don't know, when I watch rugby, I like seeing stuff like that. Not overboard, not punching, not headbutts, nothing like that, but a bit of push and shove like that between props is always fun to watch. So I did enjoy that from Furlong, but I've gone for a 5.5. He had a few good moments in patches, but overall, I think he was just a bit underwhelming. But the thing with Tide Furlong is it's weird because as a prop, he kind of plays with a fine line between playing very good and playing average. And I think right now, in the next few games, if it just clicks for him, he's going to have a very good game. James Ryan, I've gone for a 7.5 out of 10. He played like a machine. I mean, he has no regard for his body with 14 carries and a few really big tackles. He was putting in big shots. And I saw this slow-mo replay of like Aaron Wainwright carrying, Darby Lake carrying and tackling, James Ryan, Jack Conan, and these guys were absolutely destroying each other. So it was really cool to see. I would absolutely love to watch a game in Dublin. That's probably one of the top places on my bucket list. I think it's Dublin, France, Murrayfield are probably the top places on my list. Of course, some of the places in South Africa for an All Blacks game, but within Europe, those are places I really want to watch, and it looked like a good atmosphere, especially with those big tackles happening. For Tide Burn, I've gone for a 7.5 out of 10. He still showed why he's the best forward in the Irish pack. Now, I haven't given him a higher score because I think he's done more in other games, and you have to kind of compare them to what they've done and shown you before, but he was still very good. He was very solid, and he's very good at the breakdown. I mean, he's one guy that has really been impressing me and shocking me. I didn't actually realize how good he is at the breakdown, but he is very good. He's a menace at the breakdown, and I think that's something that other teams should be looking out for because someone like me that hasn't really watched Ireland that much in the past wasn't aware of this. I thought he was one of the taller guys that maybe struggles over the ball, but it's the complete opposite. He's an absolute beast over the ball. Moving on to Jack Conan, I've gone for an 8.5 out of 10. He seems to be like a starter right now. He just seems to me like a starter more than a bench player. He's been a bench player for a long time now, but his demeanor, the way he plays, the way he puts in big 70, 80-minute performances, he does kind of give me those attributes of a really good starter. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the likes of him and Josh van der Fleer. Maybe they move Tide Burn permanently to lock and keep Joe McCarthy coming off the bench and making a big impact. But that's going to be very interesting because they've got a lot of good depth there. But I thought Jack Conan was phenomenal. I mean, I think he made gosh, he made a few dominant tackles and he made a lot of tackles and carries. So I think he made 15 carries. I wrote down here 15 carries. So he had a very busy game, and I think he's one guy that's really been standing out to me every single time he's been putting the jersey on. For me, I wouldn't rate him like a Quagga Smith. That they play different styles, but he's almost for me like Ireland's Quagga Smith. That he's their player that other people might not realize is that good, but he's really that good. He's one of the best in the world, and I do see it now. Moving on to Nick Timoney, I've gone for an 8 out of 10. He's one of the players. He's one of the players of the Six Nations for Ireland. I mean, he's really put his hand up. He had a few dominant tackles as well. He carries with intent. He tackles with intent. He puts in big shots. He looks like a cannonball as well. I mean, there's not a gram of fat on him. He is huge as well. So I've really been enjoying watching him play, and he really has molded well into the squad. I do prefer him right now as a bench player, but he did prove to me tonight that he can be quite a good starter as well if they need him to. Moving on to Caelan Doris, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. Very solid performance. He's one of those really clean players for me. I'm not saying like clean like he doesn't do dark arts in the ruck, but he's one of those clean players that he always seems to be making the right decisions. He always seems to be putting passes in the right spot, especially with the backs looping around the corner. And I think as a backline player like a 9 or a 10, he's the perfect type of player you want because he has that natural ability, almost like a backline player, but he doesn't move like a backline player, but the way his hands are that good is almost like a backline player. He's got very subtle, soft hands, and he uses it very well, especially those little pop passes on the outside and the inside. And I think he's a very clean player in that regard. Like, he just does everything right, and I really like him. But I've gone for a 7 out of 10 because I still haven't seen that 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 performance from him, but I think it is coming, and he's still a very good player in this team. Moving on to Jamison Gibson Park. I've seen some other ratings already, and they rated him quite low, but I've gone for a 7 out of 10. I think it wasn't his fault that Ireland didn't get go forward ball. I mean, he was trying his best, and obviously he was playing to the game plan. I was kind of not getting annoyed, but I didn't understand him going back to the blind side the whole time, but maybe that was a tactic that they were trying to do to kind of get the guys sucked in so that they can play around the corner with the slow fold when the Wales guys are tired and then capitalize, which they did, and they scored a few times from that as well. So I've gone for a 7 out of 10 for Jamison Gibson Park. He had some very good moments, and he really ran over Louis Rees-Zammit as well, which if he scored that try, that would have been one of my favourite tries of all time. Moving on to Jack Crowley, I've gone for a 6.5 out of 10. He was very busy, but his kicking does bring his score down considerably. I mean, he was very busy. He had 13 tackles, which is a very good sign for him. He was physical. He carried well. He did some very good things out the back. He's playing with a bit more variation, but I mean, kicking for poles, he has to be better than that. That was a bit unacceptable. So 6.5 for him. Would have been a higher score if he got those kicks over, and I think the game would have been sealed maybe a bit earlier as well. Moving on to Jacob Stockdale, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. He got really involved off his wing, and I really like that. He looks a lot more confident right now, and I think he got a try of his own as well, running a very good line, which he does very well for Ulster as well. And I think he was lacking confidence before, but now he doesn't seem to be lacking any confidence at all. He looks like a completely different player, and I really like that because a few years ago he was tearing it up and he was the next big thing. So it was really good to see him back and that the coaches did trust him with a performance like this. I mean, Wales' backline really did pitch up today. They made it very tough and a real proper test match for the likes of a Jacob Stockdale. And I thought he did pass with flying colours today. I mean, not every single game you're going to score 3 tries or break the line 5 times, but I thought what he did do today, he did very well, working off his wing, getting involved, putting other guys in better positions as well, and even getting a try through his hard work off his wing. Moving on to Stuart McCloskey, I've gone for a 6.5 out of 10. I have to base him compared to his previous performances, but he still made 15 tackles. He was still very busy, and that just shows how good of a player he really is. I mean, it was difficult to give him a 6.5 out of 10 because he still stood out to me on the field because he does everything for them. He carries well, he tackles well, but I think if you're comparing it to the England game, it's probably got to be a 6.5 out of 10. Gary Ringrose, I've gone for a 6.5 out of 10 as well. He had some decent moments, but he still doesn't have the full package in the game right now. I mean, but obviously he has had the full package before. He's a very good player. He's one of the best players for Ireland in their history in the backline. But recently, he just plays well in patches. He doesn't seem to be playing that well consistently throughout the whole game. So that's just something I've been realizing from him. But in his patches, he does look very good. And I think if you can put an 80-minute performance together, he'll be looking absolutely incredible. Moving on to Robert Balakoon, one of my favourite players. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He had a fine line between being the hero and things not going his way for him. And a lot of the time, things did go his way for him. A lot of the times, it didn't as well. I mean, a perfect example of this is a stat. He had 4 line breaks, but he also forced 3 turnovers. But I mean, that out-the-back pass was just phenomenal. The whereabouts to know where the player's going to be, where Frawley was going to be, was phenomenal. And he just looks dangerous every time he gets the ball. Now, I do think Rice Carey scoring that try was not his fault. I think he defended that the right way from a winger who they would have had an overlap if he did suck him in, if he did draw him in and play the ball out wide. I do think he defended that the right way. I thought Tide Furlong was probably not the right guy to be there, which was a pretty good mismatch to have for Wales. But nonetheless, I thought he was okay. Not his best, but a fine line as well between being very good and between being average. So I think in the next game, if those passes and those little chip kicks, those little breaks, those little runs, those little offloads do work well for him, he's going to be up there having a 9 out of 10 again and being man of the match. So for Jamie Osborne, I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He was kept quiet this game, but he still doesn't ever have a bad game. He still did some very good things. Yes, he did have 3 turnovers, but some things he did still do well in this game. And he's a guy that, he did score a try as well. And he's a guy that you do like to see in this team. He's a very consistent player. And I think he's one of these guys, his position, in my opinion, is safe because he's a rock solid player. He doesn't make many mistakes, and he's one guy that's very reliable and trustworthy in this team in a position that's very difficult to be trustworthy and reliable. So I do think Hugo Keenan's going to have to really play his socks off to take that jersey back. I think he might make his way back into the 23, but into the 15 jersey straight away is going to be a tough challenge. Moving on to number 16, Tom Stewart. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He looked comfortable, and it was great to see him playing. He's a guy I've been watching for Ulster recently, and he's a really good player, but I would like to see him get more game time. But he did look comfortable. He did look like he belongs there. He looked confident, which is very good to see. So I think he did pass in that regard, and he probably will get more game time throughout the year as well. There's a lot of games for them to play throughout the year, so probably games that they might play these kind of guys maybe starting as well, like a Doak and a Tom Stewart, unless there's injuries, as a Fiji, maybe a Japan, and maybe some other games as well down the line off the bench, which will be very good for them and their development. Milner, I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He wasn't bad. He threw himself around with intent on the field, and I've just given him a 6 out of 10 because I thought he was good, but he wasn't exceptional. Same goes for Clarkson. He made an impact when he came on, but he showed persistence, he was physical, but I still don't think that these guys have really, the front row in general, especially the props, no one's really been stamping their mark and making themselves known as, I am the number one guy right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see when Andrew Porter comes back, because he's a guy I rate very highly, and he's probably going to come back and try to take that jersey back as his and show everyone what it's like to be a dominant prop in international rugby. Moving on to Joe McCarthy, I've gone for an 8 out of 10. He made a huge impact. He showed massive intent, and he made a really good impact that everybody probably expected from him. I mean, he's a very good athlete. He played a part in one of the tries. He got a nice interception as well. He was a menace at line-out time. He was good all over the field. And I've been saying I do kind of like his role right now off the bench, where he can make a big impact like this. He's a big guy. He's explosive. And I think if you are trying to get a Jack Coden to start, then I think a guy like Joe McCarthy is probably perfect off the bench right now. And I'm not saying bench as in he's worse than them. I think playing off the bench as in the last 30 minutes every single time, the last 35 minutes, let him go on, let him give it full horns, and he's going to be absolutely awesome like he was today. So an 8 out of 10, a very good performance, and he's really completely swung his momentum and his playing style and ability and his form completely from the first game. I mean, the first game he was out of it. I thought he was going to get dropped, but now he's been looking much sharper, much more like he cares and playing with a lot more intent. The kind of Joe McCarthy we do know. Moving on to Josh van der Fleer, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. He was competitive in every single area when he came on. He's very explosive as well, and I do like him from the bench, but it's weird seeing Josh van der Fleer play off the bench. I would like to see a loose share maybe of Josh van der Fleer, Jack Conan, Caelan Doris with Nick Timoney on the bench with a Joe McCarthy. That would be awesome, with Tide Bernard Lock with James Ryan. That would be absolutely awesome. But Josh van der Fleer is still a very good player. Also one of those guys that after the France game really picked up his act a bit and is kind of showing that old form coming back. There was a few injuries, there was a few guys lacking form, but they are slowly but surely starting to bring it back. I just think today for Ireland, it didn't really click for them as a collective for the entire 80 minutes, but they still did look good in patches as well. Moving on to Nathan Doak. I've gone for a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. He looked comfortable. I think he has earned his shot at another opportunity. Now I'm going to give him a 6.5 because it was his debut and he looked really comfortable. And he's a guy I really like. He's a guy I've always liked in this team. He's a guy I've liked from Ulster, and he's a guy I've been watching in the URC, and he's a very good player. you could see he was a bit nervous at the start, but as soon as he settled in, he looked so good. He was picking up the pace. He was playing almost the same style as James at Gibson Park, and I really like this guy as a player for Ireland. So I think he has deserved another shot with this performance, and he does look the real deal, same as Tom Stewart as well. Moving on to Farrell, not available, not enough game time. I'm not going to give guys a rating if they haven't played more than 12 minutes, 10 minutes. It's just unfair on them. But I don't think he was bad when he came on. It's just the ball didn't really come to him either, and that's why it's not available score for him. Frawley, same, not available, but he did have some good touches. But overall, I can't really judge his performance because I didn't see enough of a sample size, but he did look dangerous with some of his touches. But I mean, very, very scattered player ratings here. I mean, Tom O'Toole 7, Ronan Kelleher 7, Furlong 5.5, James Ryan 7.5, Tide Burn 7.5, Jack Conan 8.5, Nick Timoney 8, Caelan Doris 7, Jameson Gibson Park 7, Crowley 6.5, Stockdale 7, McCloskey 6.5, Ringrose 6.5, McCloskey might be a bit low, Osborne 6, Balakoon 6, Stewart 6, Milner 6, Clarkson 6, McCarthy 8, Josh van der Vlier 7, Nathan Doak 6.5 now, Farrell not available, and Frawley not available. So that is my player ratings for the Wales vs Ireland game, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy that. It is a late one here. I am pushing to get this one out for you guys because I really appreciate all the support. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and see. Hopefully there's been some comments. If you guys do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you do disagree with some of my ratings, please let's talk about it in the comments. Give me some good valid reasons so we can have some good discussions. If you do agree with it, let me know as well, because it's always good to see that. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.